What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Paul.
My name is Justin. Where's Sam at?
And I am Sam.
All right, Sam.
Sam
Welcome again, Sam.
For our start-sit episode. So, we're going on to week 9. If you guys don't know who we are, my dad already said it. We're the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at JustinFSFF. And then, Sam, where can they find you?
At FF Stompy.
Yeah, so Sam writes a start-sit article every week, so we have him come on our podcast to share those guys, I guess. Not all those guys, but one for each position, and we each do a sit for each position. So, Dad, quarterbacks, kick it off. Who's your quarterback starter of the week for you? Wow, what's taking so long, dude?
I'm going to go with Conor McGregor.
Oh no!
Right.
We're gonna go back to him. They sat Jameis Winston after 2 games of 7 turnovers, and Fitzpatrick came in a little bit of time. He almost brought him back to victory, but he's back as a starter now for the Bucs, and hopefully he continues to play at the high level he's been playing at. He's appeared in 5 games this season and scored at least 22 fantasy points in 4 of them. So for this week, he's facing a Panthers defense that allows 20 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. So we're going to stick with the hot hand of McGregor.
Yes. McGregor. I like the pick. I picked him up in one of my leagues, so I hope you're right. And I hope that, Sam, you like McGregor this week, or are you not really?
I'm mediocre on him because of his last start. So we'll see.
This is different, though. That was Pittsburgh.
That's fair enough.
Is it though? Because what? So they played. I guess it's true in terms of it's Chicago, or it was Chicago, but I would have to look back or look at ESPN. But Carolina's a decent defense.
They are, and here's why I picked them to start because, I think they're going to be chasing points because Carolina, I think, is going to be ahead most of this game. So in the last 3 starts where McGregor played, he's had at least 37 passes, so he's going to be chucking the ball a lot. So I expect him to score a lot of fantasy points.
And I can get behind that. I mean, their run game is atrocious. They have had like 2 decent games from Barber. Everything else has been terrible. So,
and them decent games were when Winston was the QB. Well, whenever McGregor's a Q, there's no run game whatsoever. At least there hasn't been up to this date.
By the way, we're talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick. If anyone doesn't know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so Sam, who's your start this week?
Ooh. So I have one guy in the game tonight. I have Derek Carr, who I like. Kind of gross matchups this week in terms of quarterbacks. I mean, you have like 2 really good matchups in terms of Green Bay and New England and New Orleans and or Los Angeles, but then everything else is pretty awful. I'll go with Alex Smith versus the Atlanta Falcons. Smith currently ranks as the QB 29 in fantasy points per game. So, and I think I've said this before on this podcast, but it seems like Smith's 2017 was an anomaly, considering he's back to check down status. He's tied for 24th in pass touchdowns, ranks 26th in passing yards. He's just not been a good quarterback, I guess, in terms of stats. But he faces the Atlanta Falcons this week, who rank 28th in DVOA against the pass. That includes a QB7 finish to Eli Manning in week 6 or 7. So, yeah, I mean, and we all understand who Eli Manning is at this point and how bad he is at this point, especially you two.
I want to talk about it.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Thanks for bringing that up, Sam.
Yeah, love you guys. But they have allowed, Eli actually ranks above Alex Smith, believe it or not. He's QB 28 in fantasy points per game.
I'll explain how I am so wrong about Alex Smith this season, and my dad is so wrong about Eli Manning this season. I'll just say that. But
I was very wrong about Eli too. So
I was hoping for Alex Smith to be. I don't know what I was expecting, but not. This.
I was real high in Eli, and that's a disappointment.
I think
that team is heroic.
Alex Smith is the definition of recency bias, if anything. But the Falcons have allowed the 30th they've allowed 4 quarterbacks to finish with 30 or more fantasy points, 6 with 24 or more fantasy points. And the only one that they didn't allow 24 or more fantasy points was to Nick Foles in week 1. So Smith likely has a decent shot to do well. And really, and this is I'm calling it a bye week apocalypse or bye week Armageddon this week with 6 teams on bye. So there's a lot of streamers that you have to look at. So for instance, like me with Derek Carr or Alex Smith. So yeah, I think it's a good week for Alex Smith. Plus, and this is something I didn't mention in my article, but the Falcons are actually decent against the run. Now, they're not good against pass catching running backs, but they're pretty good against on the ground. So this might you're going to play AP because he's going to get volume, but this might be a week where they have to throw a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see that for sure, and I like the volume, the potential of the volume at least. So I guess fire Alex Smith up. Doesn't seem good, but what are you going to do? My guy is going to be Case Keenum. I think he's a viable streamer this week. He's going against the Texans. Demaryius Thomas left, but I like Cortland Sutton more. Demaryius Thomas just as a skill set because Demaryius Thomas just wasn't the same in my opinion. So he's gone. They have Deshaun Hamilton who's still recovered from injury. So who's their third wide receiver this week, Sam? Is it going to be? I don't know. They roster 4. Deshaun Hamilton's not being there. So
are we talking about for wide receivers?
Yeah, for Denver. Who's their number 3? It was not Deshaun.
I mean, Tim Patrick probably is third.
So anyway, you see Lindsey get used in the pass game. So Texans defense, you saw Brock Osweiler throw for 241 yards, put up a decent rating. They've allowed 17.8 fantasy points per game on average. And I'm following the defense just because their defense can't stay healthy, and Keenum's also home. So I'm playing the home matchup. It's available in 91% of Yahoo leagues, and the team has an implied 24.5 team total. So I can see him throwing for more than 3 touchdowns this game.
Keenum's actually on pace for his best career season ever, despite how poor he's playing. So,
wow.
Take from that what you will. Fantasy gold, real life garbage, and I hate it. It hurts me. I want Chad Kelly back.
He got arrested, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a misdemeanor or something. It's not going to be anything big, but.
All right, Dad sits.
Kind of like our backup quarterback.
Yeah. Traffic violation.
That's a train wreck right there. Come on, he's this close from getting a starting job, and he does that. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
Kyle.
Anyway, my sit of the week is going to be Matthew Stafford. Why in the world they got rid of Golden Tate? I have no idea. I think he's going to struggle against the Minnesota defense, which is pretty good. The Vikings have allowed an average of 19 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks, and only Josh Allen in week 3, Goff in week 4, and Carson Wentz have scored at least 20 points. So without
Josh Allen, one of these things is not like
Josh Allen.
Good Lord.
So Stafford is averaging just 233 passing yards with 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So with Golden Tate being gone, their best wide receiver on that team. I think you're sitting in this week. Their best wide receiver on that team when he was there.
You and I are going to fight, Paulie.
I thought you were Golden. Whoa. This is a Marvin Jones guy.
Saying,
and you're saying Golden. No. Wow. This whole offseason, I had the biggest arguments with you
You're
over
still going to lose
Marvin
that
Jones
because Marvin Jones is
Golden
better.
Tate.
But listen, here's why I say this. Because I have Golden Tate on my fantasy team. He's already had a week where he had a bye. Now he's got another bye. If you guys want to see
a hypocrite in fantasy football, my dad is a hypocrite in fantasy football.
Well,
this guy
like
on
Jones
the board in our draft
You're
this offseason, Golden Tate and Marvin Jones were available in the 5th round, and you were like, let me take Golden Tate over Marvin Jones.
And it's going to cost me. Now it's going to cost me because he's sitting again another bye this week. That's 2 byes for. Come on, really?
It's not like it's Amari Cooper who got back-to-back bye weeks.
I know. All right, so you're sitting Stafford.
All right, who's your sit, Sam?
Well, I could take the easy way out and say Marcus Mariota or Dak Prescott. Just don't play anybody in that game except for Zeke, maybe. I'm gonna go out on a ledge here or on a limb and say Deshaun Watson.
Oh, I'm doubling down with you. That was my sit of the week. So go ahead. You tell him, Sam. I'll try to add some stuff if you have anything.
All right. So first and foremost, Deshaun Watson had 5 touchdowns on 20 attempts last week. He had more touchdowns than incompletions. Well, so did Russ Wilson for that matter, but I would trust Russ Wilson more. But beyond the point, so he's not going to keep up that pace. He just lost one of his favorite targets in Will Fuller. Gets a brand new wide receiver in Demaryius Thomas.
Trash.
No, this is going to help Demaryius Thomas, I think. It's going to help him going here. He's not the Demaryius Thomas like he used to be, but I think it helps him moving.
So I think this is me, and we can talk about this a little bit. I think Demaryius Thomas should go to the slot, and Kiki Kuti should fill that Will Fuller role.
They might do that.
I'm not going to get too much detail, but that's an interesting concept right there. I think they could probably try it out and see how it goes. I don't know if it'd be like majority over 50%.
Well, it'd be like kind of the Larry Fitzgerald role for Demaryius Thomas, where it's just a big physical wide receiver that's in the middle of the field. And then Watson's also playing through injuries. He's actually able to fly with the team to Denver, but he's still dealing with those rib injuries. He's still dealing with a poor offensive line, and he's facing an extremely good pass rush. Bradley Chubb's come out of the woodwork here, has 5.5 sacks over the last 3 games. Von Miller is Von Miller. Broncos ranked 2nd DVOA against the pass, have allowed the 11th fewest fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. They've also struggled against the run, ranking 28th in DVOA and they at one point had allowed 100-yard game and then back-to-back 200-plus yard games to running backs. Sorry. So the Texans would be best served to run the ball, protect Watson until he's healthy. So I think Lamar Miller might be a decent under-the-radar start this week, but I think this is a recipe for Deshaun Watson to finish outside the top 12.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Like you said, Broncos may have been struggling in coverage, but I think sacks are going to happen, and you only have to lock up one receiver this week, really. So there's that. So let's go on to running backs. Dad.
Wait, who is your set? Are you just doubling down?
Doubling down with Deshaun Watson with you, yeah. Right. Just to keep it simple and moving. So running backs, Dad, who's your start?
Well, there's a guy I've been sitting on my bench for the past couple weeks.
Here, don't start him this week. Don't start him this week, guys.
And he's had a nice stretch of games over the past month. And it's time to trust him again. That guy is Kenyon Drake.
Disclosure, please sit this guy because when Dad's going to put him in the lineup, he's going to do awful.
Oh, I'm putting him in the lineup.
He only performs on your bench.
I'm putting him in my lineup too.
He's had at least 4 catches in 3 of his past 4 games as well. So he's doing a nice job sharing the role now with Gore. I mean, he's the better candidate there. So, and the Jets have allowed a running back to score, gain at least 80 yards in 7 games in a row. So look for that to continue. You're starting Drake this week because I'm starting him. He's not going to be on my bench this week.
All right, more points. Kenyon Drake. I'll take Chris Carson.
Ooh,
easy one. They play the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm put it on the table. I'm making that bet.
I'll say Nick Chubb also.
No, I'm not saying Nick Chubb.
I'll say Philip Lindsay.
He's another one of my starts of the week. No, Philip Lindsay's my guy. Look what he did last week.
He's amazing. I like him. All right, we'll keep that. Chris Carson.
All right, Drake over Carson because Carson right now is hurt.
I do like Carson. I think he's turning into a little tiny version of you got to take it off the injury report like 20 minutes ago. But I think Drake's like a mini version of Chris Thompson in a little way this year. He's getting more used in the passing game. And I think it's going to help his value out. So I do like Drake going forward. But just to prove my point that when my dad starts this guy, he does bad, I am going to say.
You're absolutely right. Every time I start him, he's done bad.
So that's what I'm saying. I like the matchup this week. It all makes sense, but no.
Yeah. Well, I'm
in the same boat as you there, Paulie, because I'm starting him in a few leagues. So
I'm starting him in 2. I got him in 2, so I'm starting him in both.
All right, Sam, who's your start?
Oh, I don't know who to talk about. So, I mean, I think we all like Nick Chubb against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think a lot of people do, so I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to say Isaiah Crowell at Miami. So Crowell's been super inconsistent, especially of late. He's been relatively poor the last 3 games, but he does have 3 games of 19 or more fantasy points. He also has 5 of less than 8. So this is kind of a risky pick. But Bilal Powell's on the IR. Elijah McGuire is just returning from the IR. So Kroll has another opportunity for a monster amount of volume this week. The Dolphins have allowed the third most fantasy points per game to running backs. They also allowed the third most rushing yards per game to running backs. So it's and we're talking about two relatively poor passing offenses this week. So I would expect this to come down to the ground game against two relatively poor rushing defenses. So I think Kroll can definitely get you into that, at the very least, a top 24 conversation.
So if you look back at week 2 when the Jets played Miami, both of these running backs, Drake and Crowell, both had a good game. They had, I think, 18 points respectively. One might have been higher than the other, but they both had good games. So it's a good sign for this week again.
All right, yeah, I can get along with that. I'm gonna say my start is gonna be Aaron Jones this week. Yes, he's done me a little dirty in the past, but they got rid of Ty Montgomery to the Ravens, so that means receptions are up for the grab, and the Patriots give up a lot of points from the passing game. So I'm hoping, I don't know if Mike McCarthy's gonna do it because we know Mike McCarthy is very, very stupid, but I'm hoping he gives Aaron Jones more playing time and gives him the ball via the passing game to make him a high running back 2 this week. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think you're going to get at least running back 2 numbers or a good flex play, especially in a primetime game where I think Aaron Rodgers is going to want Aaron Jones on the field, and hopefully McCarthy listens to him and gets him some usage because we know how good Aaron Jones is. So that's going to be my start this week.
Okay, I'll go with that.
All right, who's your sit, Dad?
My sit of the week is going to be Peyton Barber. Even though he should be added in all leagues, especially with Ronald Jones out, but I don't think you're starting him this week with Fitzpatrick at the helm because there's no running game when he's there. He's played well as of late. Like I said, the past two or three games, he's had at least 14 PPR points. But Carolina also has just allowed 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. So I don't think he's a must-start option this week, especially with Fitzpatrick. I think he's just going to chuck the ball. They're going to be behind, and the running game is, ever since Fitzpatrick's been in there, has been nothing. So
he's going to have 2 one-yard touchdowns. He's going to have 2 one-yard touchdowns this week. You watch.
He's going to have 2 one-yard touchdowns?
I'm not making that bet. I'm just saying it's going to be funny. You watch. He's going to have like 10 yards in the whole day on 20 carries and have 2 touchdowns.
He could.
Possible. So, Sam, who's your set this week?
I'm going to go out on a limb again here and maybe irritate some people. James Conner.
Whoa.
Whoa, we got to hear why.
All right. So we know, I think I don't have to go over Connor's credentials, but I will. RB4 in points per game this season. The only time, however, that he has not scored double-digit fantasy points. Can you guess that? Can you guys guess when?
I'm going to say it was against the Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens, week 4. And I forgot to look this up. I'm going to give you the exact stat line here because this is exactly why I don't like him this week. James Conner. Sorry. 9 attempts for 19 yards, 3 receptions for 25 yards for a 4.4 fantasy point day.
That's not good.
Okay.
That's like that's like bad.
But so now we can talk about the Ravens. They have been one of the best defenses in the league, especially against the run. They rank 5th overall in DVOA. They've allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to running backs, and basically there's a reason that Connor struggled the first time around against the Ravens in Week 9, and this is at Baltimore this time. So, and CJ Mosley, I think, might have been hurt in that game too. So they've got a healthy defense. I expect that the Steelers are going to have to throw the ball to beat Baltimore this week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get along with that. I like that. And I'm going to give you my sit. Same game. Alex Collins. He's been doing decent the last 2 weeks because of touchdowns and, I guess, decent game flow. But they're going to be behind this game, I think. I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be close.
It was 28-14 last game.
Yeah, They want revenge. They're going to get revenge. It's at
Baltimore.
At Baltimore. It's the reverse role. I'm calling the upset of the week. I guess you can say maybe it's not really an upset, but I think it's an upset. Both teams are playing well. Last you saw 28-14, like you said. So I think Alex Collins is gonna be a sit this week, especially because I just traded him away. So I don't want to do good. Dad, I didn't hear your thoughts on that trade.
I got no comment.
What? I gave away Alex.
Right?
Yeah.
That's actually, that's actually not a bad trade. I mean,
an inconsistent Sammy Watkins and a crappy Alex Collins for a top 12 already wide receiver with Demarius there, which I don't think it's gonna change that much. But
I think you got the guy before you heard the news.
Yeah, well, I don't know how. It was up for 3 hours.
Well, I don't know, but
hey, hopefully I did. That was my plan.
That trade was the most confounding one. And I think the Ravens said something along the likes of, "We found the running back help we needed." Which, what?
Yeah, another reason that Ty Montgomery is there. So yeah, I don't understand that at all. So, Dad, last week, Stephon Diggs, what a guy.
Yep. Okay, so you were right. So but you weren't right on everything. But let me have it. Go ahead. You said Diggs would finish top 5. I believe he did. I'm not 100%.
0, 5, or 6.
You said Diggs would have over 100 yards and a touchdown. What do you have?
Over 100 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, that felt good. That felt good. I was just watching and smiling.
So now that you're talking about this kind of stuff, okay, so you won the wide receiver bet. All right, let me give you a little clap because you lost Philip Lindsay over Tariq Cohen. You lost that bet.
Did I really?
Okay. Yep, do the math.
Oh, not in our league. Our home league, I won that. You kidding me? 70-yard bonus points for long touchdowns. I won that.
The big one you lost, you bet against my boy Jimmy Graham, who had one catch for 3.12 fantasy points. You took Njoku. How many did he have? Can you let the
fan? No. Njoku retired. He's back now.
Let everybody know how many points he had.
Njoku retired. He didn't play that game.
Graham had one catch and one, so let the people know.
Yeah, Njoku.
You want to know why Philip or why Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley lost their jobs?
Why?
Because they let Njoku got a big old fat goose egg. Good Lord.
Justin wasn't brave enough to
their defense is great. Okay, they know that. And then you have offense with Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, and David Njoku, and you can't score points. Like, what the heck?
So you broke even with me. You got 2 wins and 2 losses this week. So you're finally moving in the right direction anyway. Because you didn't lose more than you won. So a tie with me it's good for you. That's good for you right now.
Who's your wide receiver start? Who's your wide receiver start? Let's hear this one.
My wide receiver start of the week is none other than my man Marvin Jones.
I'm so confused. You said Golden Tate was better than him. I'll say Kenny Galladay more points than Marvin Jones. I'll take the other one. Kenny Galladay's better than Marvin Jones. Kenny Galladay's better than Marvin Jones.
We're putting that on the table. There's another bet.
I got another one for you too.
Listen,
I got another one. Devin Funches more points than Marvin Jones. This guy's awful.
Listen, they're gonna get a boost in fantasy value with Tate definitely gone. Their targets are gonna go up. I look for Marvin Jones to have another great game. Last time they played the Vikings last year, he had 6 catches for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns on 9 targets. That was week 12. So look for his fantasy value to rise even further now with Tate gone. So he's your start of the week.
Devin Funches and Marvin Jones. I said Devin Funches.
I'm going to take you up on both of them.
All right, I got another one for you too. Julian Edelman, Marvin Jones. I'm not going to keep going.
No, I'm not doing
I'll say Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know how you feel about him. All right, well, Josh Gordon, a.k.a. Randy Moss, more points than Marvin.
You said Marvin Jones over. Who was your first guy you said?
Golladay.
Yeah, that's an easy no-brainer for me.
What?
All right, yep.
Devin
he's
Funches.
A better one receiver than Golladay and over Funches. Okay.
Oh, Paulie,
you fell into the trap. He fell into the trap. And Josh Gordon.
You watch. You wait.
No, I got 2 more. I got Josh Gordon. I'll take Cortland Sutton.
Look, you can't make all the
I'm making lots of bets. I'm doing it. Cortland Sutton, more points.
No.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't like that bet.
Oh, he likes Cortland Sutton more.
I like Sutton this week, too.
I'm going to go over quick before you, Sam. Cortland Sutton, start of the week. I don't even care. He's going to get more targets. He's already been really efficient, and I don't worry about the target influx is obviously going up, and this guy is going to post a top 24 week. I'm going to say bold top 15 this week. You watch. Not putting a bet on that, but I'm putting in a bold statement.
I like that. He's a good start of the week, too, especially with the trade.
He's going to have 75-plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
2. That's 1 more than 1. That's one more than Diggs had last week. All right, Sam, who's your start this week?
John Brown.
Ooh, smoking John Brown. Tell us why.
Yeah, he's been kind of one of my favorite wide receivers this year, just because he's played well. He didn't do great last week, but he's currently the wide receiver 26 and the best pass catcher for the Ravens.
Yeah, that's because what's his name is bad, Dad? Michael Crabtree? Yeah, he's bad.
Well, John Brown is playing great at home, too.
Yes.
The Steelers allowed the 6th most fantasy points to wide receivers. And in week 4, Brown put up 116 yards and 1 touchdown against the Steelers. So I think for DFS purposes, I like the stack of Joe Flacco and John Brown this week as well.
That's good. That's an interesting one. Low owned to pay up at other positions. I like that. I'm going to definitely use that one this week. And now we're going to sits. I'm going to go first, Dad, okay?
You go ahead.
You're going to sit this guy because he's not that good. His name is Marvin Jones. Now, I'm going to say not in the top 24 this week. It's all Kenny Golladay. It's Kenny Galladay's season. I don't even care. That's all. Right. That's all I'm saying. Marvin Jones is sit of the week.
Ooh.
Dad, who'd you sit? Don't say Kenny Golladay.
Golladay.
No, I can't say Kenny Golladay because you're starting both of them guys in there.
Especially Kenny Golladay. Yeah. It's like Kenny Golladay podcast now. I don't even care. He's so good.
I'm going to say Crabtree. I like John Brown at home. Crabtree is coming off a down game in week 8. And his worst game of the season was week 4 at Pittsburgh, where he had 3 catches for 29 yards on 8 targets. So the Pittsburgh defense is coming around. They're a lot better than they were back then in week 4. You can use Crabtree as a number 3 fantasy receiver, but I think you're sitting him this week. You're starting John Brown, like Sam said, over Crabtree. Pittsburgh's defense is good, and they're better than they were back then when they played before.
That's true. Sam, who's your set this week?
Ugh.
Oh no, it's gonna say.
I don't know. There's some pretty ugly matchups this week. I don't like Allen Robinson against Buffalo. I don't like Corey Davis against Dallas.
Whoa,
I don't like
Corey Davis.
Baldwin versus Los Angeles Chargers. Really, I didn't even need. There's some in here that I don't even need to make arguments. Like I'll give you my Corey Davis argument. It says C Marcus Mariota. Bad offense, good defense. As unfortunately, as talented as Davis is, he's hindered by Mariota, and it's coupled with the Cowboys' defense has allowed the second fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. So much like most of his 2018, he's just going to have a bad week 9.
Yeah, I hear you. I like that. Now, Dad, I got to make more bets with you. Or Sam. Anyone can take this in. Each of you give me one receiver you like this week, like a lot, to be top 12.
John Brown.
John Brown, top 12, really?
Yep.
Wow. Oh, I don't even... Wow. I'm a little stunned. I mean, I like that. I like John Brown this week. I mean, I can't even top 12. Would you take him
over 100 in a touch?
Over 100 in a touch. I mean,
yep.
Come on.
Can I make a bet with the bet saying like these two will both be top 12? Or does that not work like that? I don't even know. I'll say
that's not how that works.
I don't know. I like John Brown. I can't go against John Brown this week. I like him a lot. So Dad, if you want to make a John Brown bet with Sam.
No, you just said sit Crabtree.
But top 12.
No, I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to make a bold. I like Amari Cooper this week. Even though he hasn't much practice with Dallas, I like him to have a good week this week.
Over John Brown?
You know, I'm going to make that bet, Sam.
All right, let's do it. Put it on.
I'm going to be bold. I'm going to make that bet. I got Amari Cooper will have a better fantasy week than John Brown. That's bold on my part.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Really?
Dude.
That's okay.
Dude.
Hey, let's do it. That's a bold bet.
You got it. Wow.
I just told you I was making a bold bet. You worry. All
right, we're going on to tight ends now. I can't even look at that anymore. No.
This week is Marvin Jones, okay? Because he's going to destroy you.
No, I can't do this anymore. This is bad. That was bad. The guy I love is Amari Cooper. The team I hate is the Cowboys. The quarterback who doesn't know how to throw the ball is Dak Prescott. This is not going to go well for you. And John Brown, smoking John Brown.
I like the situation this week. I'll put it that way.
Smoking John Brown.
We'll see if I'm right.
Smoking John Brown.
I made a bold bet. I said I was going to make a bold one.
Fair
there
enough,
it is.
But that's more than bold. That's like
you're the one who's scared to bet against Sam. I'm not. I bet you're scared.
Scared.
I'm scared of what?
He says I'm scared of you.
Scared to bet against you.
I like John Brown. I'm not going to say Diggs or John Brown. That's just not fair.
You were all high on Diggs last week. Go again.
What do you mean? I mean John Brown. I'll say Funchess has more points than John Brown.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
I'll take that.
That's close.
I like this. I like Funchess this week, but I really like John Brown.
I'm going to be playing in cash. I'm going to be playing this triple stack with the Panthers, and I'm going to be using DJ Moore with Devin Funchess and Cam Newton. Cam Newton's a solid cash play every week.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean, he gets it done. Like he'll score points. And there's a lot of other stacks you guys can look at by going over to thequantedge.com. It has all the tools you need to play like a pro. They have a lineup optimizer, injury tool, wide receiver cornerbacks matchup, head-to-head tool. You're going to be armed with everything you need to win. You can make up to 150 lineups in seconds, see matchups to exploit, compare players to help you make decisions that you're on the fence about over at thequantedge.com. You also get access to the articles, chats, TQ community, and you get all of that by going over to thequantedge.com. Use promo code FSFF to save money off your first month and make some money in DraftKings or FanDuel. The chat's going to tell you lots of stacks to do and a lot of like low-owned plays. So go over there, sign up today, and that's where that Cam Newton stack's going to come in handy for cash. I like it. I like the Flacco Brown one too. Flacco Brown's going to be a popular one for me too. You got any other stacks you like this week, Sam?
I mean, I do like that Cam Funchess stack. Yeah, I'm just not. I would say Baker again this week, but it's just like I don't know how to even take Baker anymore.
Yeah, I mean Keenum and Sutton's a really cheap one that won't be used a lot, I don't think, against Houston's D. So if you want to do that low owned, I don't know. My MVP quarterback's playing right now. Actually, he's awesome right now. He's Nick Mullins. Started him in a dynasty league tonight. Super flex. You gotta do what you gotta do.
He led them to 2 touchdown drives, by the way.
Yeah, he's elite.
He just scored again.
Yep.
MVP to who? Who was this one to?
Kendrick Bourne.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna pick him up too. Son of a. All right, we're going on tight ends now. We're gonna do this really quickly because tight ends are disgusting. So give me your start and sit, Dad.
My start of the week is going to be Ed Dixon.
Whoa.
Ooh.
He's been playing. He's played good. Well, oh yeah, 2 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown on 2 targets. I think his workload is going to increase moving forward, and he faces a Chargers defense that has allowed 3 touchdowns to tight ends in 3 of their past 4 games. And a bonus start, you're starting Jimmy Graham. I don't care.
No,
he's going to have he's due for a good
who's your
game.
sit? Who's your sit? Who is your sit?
I don't know. I'm gonna.
You don't. What?
I don't know. Jordan Thomas. I don't know. I got no one. That's it.
All right, Sam. Who's your start sit?
I'm gonna bring back a guy from 3 weeks ago. Chris Herndon, Miami Dolphins. What's up, bro? 3 straight games with touchdowns, 114 yards in those 3 games as well. He is the tight end 10 over the past 3 games. Seems to be turning into a go-to target for Sam Darnold. Anun was still out. Matthews will be incorporated over the next few weeks, so I would say Herndon's probably the most trustworthy pass catcher on this team right now.
He's a good streaming option. That he is.
And who is your
hold on. I'm not done with Herndon.
Chris Herndon rant.
He's not done, Justin.
The Dolphins have allowed the 4th most fantasy points per game over the last 3 games of tight ends. They rank 26th against the pass overall as well. So there you go.
I don't like his snaps, though. He doesn't play a lot of snaps. That's the only thing I don't get.
Does it matter if he's getting them in the red zone?
I guess you're not. Yeah, true. I'll take what I can get with that.
Trey Burton is my sit against the Buffalo Bills. He is tight end 8 for the 2018 season. Seems to be an outlet for Mitch Trubisky, but the Bills defense is good. They rank 5th in DVOA against tight ends. They've allowed the 6th fewest total yards and passing yards per game. They have also allowed the 9th fewest fantasy points to tight ends in 2018, 8th fewest over the past 3 weeks. So yeah, I think, and Trey Burton, if you want to talk about like routes or targets to routes run, like he's got a really low ratio. So I would rather have Herndon in there with his red zone and end zone targets than Trey Burton against the Bills.
Gotcha. I can go on. I do like Herndon this week. I was hating on it, but like I'm looking at it. Tight end position is like gross. But tight end I'm gonna stream this week is gonna be Hayden Hurst. So they're going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, like we already been talking about, and they're giving up I think 27th against the tight end this year for average fantasy points allowed. Hurst is getting more healthier. He's gonna get more bulk of the snaps and hopefully targets going forward. He had 2 catches on 3 targets for 29 yards and a touchdown week 8. So this week he's gonna be a nice little streaming option. Hopefully top 15 for a tight end position. And then my sit is gonna be. I did like the Trey Burton sit. I'm going to go, if people are starting Jeff Swain, please sit him. I just don't like him against Titans this week. I think it's going to be an awful game to watch because one defense is good, one offense is bad. Both offenses are bad, and I don't really see it. I don't know. I'm just going to say Titans have been third strongest against tight end, so I'm sitting Jeff Swain this week. Yeah. Any tight end bets you want to do, Dad? Your Jimmy Graham versus David Njoku this week? I'll do that.
Pick a different guy this week. You did him last week, but I'm
Jared Cook. He's playing right now. I don't know how he's doing.
Right
I don't know how he's doing.
You already see me at 1 or 2 catches.
Greg Olsen?
I'll do that bet. Jimmy Graham's going to break out eventually.
Oh, dude. Okay, fair enough. I hope. I had him in DraftKings last week. I am a hypocrite. Wow.
Trying to give you a chance.
I played Jimmy Graham in DraftKings last week, and he had no points. He gave me 1 point.
Against New England, he's got a legitimate shot, too. New England's pretty bad against
I need to see this to believe it. All right. Well,
you should have been in the end zone there, too.
Yeah, you had it. I had those fantasy points, and then went away. But I still won money in DraftKings, so we'll take that. Doubled it. Easy money. Anything else you want to say before we end today's episode? You guys can follow me on Twitter at JustinFSFF. Sam's Twitter at FFStompy. And linked in the description. Go check that out. You get 10.
Go to sportslabormetrics.net.
That one.
Check it out. Get the premium tools. Get 50% off with the code FSFF.
Yeah. FSFF.
Seriously, check it out.
Yeah.
It's legitimate.
We need more viewer interaction and audience interaction. I know it's mid-season, so we're down to like not many listeners, but come on. What are you doing?
By the way, 54% or more in 6 straight weeks for start sets.
That's impressive. That's like really good. I'm like 1% now. I'm like 10% now. I had that dig start last week. I'll take it. We like that. Anything else you want to say, Dad? Anything else you want to say about today? Nick Mullen just going off for probably 5 touchdowns. You watch, he's gonna do it.
I can't believe he's got 2.
He's
touchdown.
Another one.
What does that say about the Raiders defense, and what does that say about Kyle Shanahan as a coach?
John Gruden's bad. That's what it says. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna see you guys next week for the same Start Sit episode. We'll also be back Monday with a waiver wire episode, and we're gonna be back Saturday tomorrow for a listener league review with one of the listener league members. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, we'll catch you next time.